When we look back at anime in 2025, we'll remember the fights, the sakuga, but now we'll remember the tears and emotional trauma that came with Tak-o-pee's original sin. Tak-o-pee's original sin is not for the weak-hearted. I consider myself to be a macho man, a real machismo type. I like my anime kind of how I like my coffee, dark. But when I heard the buzz about an anime adaptation that was turning grown men into sniveling children, I had to see what the fuss was about. Tak-o-pee's original sin is a new 6-episode miniseries created by a mangaka only known as Tizen 5 and animated by Studio Initia. It was a project that kind of came out of nowhere and now seems to be emotionally wrecking every man and woman that watched it. But how did the show about what I thought on first glance was going to be about a Kirby stand-in become a story about the ugliness and trauma of growing up in the rawest way possible? Unlike therapy, subscribing to the channel is free. You should consider doing both while watching this review. The star of Tak-o-pee's original sin is without a doubt Tak-o-pee. He's an alien sent from the planet Happion to spread happiness across the universe. His first stop on his journey is the cesspool that is Earth. Tak-o-pee is everything you could ask for in a dog, or even a Pokemon that could talk. He's cute, optimistic, and painfully naive to a point. There's plenty of moments throughout this show where shit is literally hitting the fan, and Tak-o-pee is blissfully naive. The characters are literally at each other's throats. The first individual he meets on his quest to farm joy on Earth is Shizuka. Shizuka is the textbook definition of hanging on to sanity by a thread. She's a young girl experiencing some of the darkest circumstances a child could ever ask for. Her mom's a woman of the night, she's mercilessly bullied at school, and the only silver lining in her life is her dog, Chappie. And don't even get me started on what the father of this little girl is doing on the side. Her bully in school, who we think originally is going to be the villain of the show, Marina, the show does no favors in making you absolutely hate this girl right off the bat. She's shitting on Shizuka every chance she can get, and you really got to ask yourself, why is she going so hard on this girl? And then there's our lover boy Azuma. He instantly falls head over heels for Shizuka, and in addition to some serious issues going on at home as well, dealing with being the family's black sheep, living in his brother's shadow, and a disapproving helicopter mom, these three children establish a dynamic that's painfully messy, but in some ways a love triangle. To say the least, Tak-o-pee has his work cut out for him, rehabilitating these broken children. What I'm trying to get at without going too deep into spoiler territory is that every kid on this show has quite a lot of problems. Those problems stem from the true villains of the show, the parents. The adults in this show have got to be some of the most punch your screen ass motherfuckers you could ever see in an anime, second only to this guy. Without question, every adult on the show finds new ways to fail these children. Shizuka, Marina, Azuma all deal with abuse, manipulation, abandonment at the hands of what are supposed to be their protectors. It was crazy to wish the parents almost weren't around in certain scenes because they were the ones that were causing most of the trauma. And trauma is something that Tak-o-pee doesn't even understand. Pain and suffering are alien concepts, no pun intended. Bringing happiness and hope to the hopeless is a mission that Tak-o-pee is wildly unequipped for. But the thing is, Tak-o-pee still tries. He tries his hardest to uplift these kids, but the sinister thing is that what makes one person happy can have dire consequences for someone else. The show thrusts you into an emotional roller coaster right from episode 1, and from there we watch how Tak-o-pee sweeps every mistake he makes under the rug, all while Tak-o-pee is becoming more and more aware of the darkness of human nature at any age. The most deceptive thing about this show are the visuals. Studio Initia is a relatively unknown anime studio, but still gave us animation to talk about. From a bouncy and playful dynamic opening sequence to a very memorable animation style characterized by squiggly, almost undefined lines for characters. It did a serviceable job emulating the art from the manga, cute, still highly detailed, and visceral when it needed to be, which was a lot at the time. It really hit that balancing act of the adorable to fucked up ratio quite nicely, in a Madoka Magica kind of way. Tak-o-pee's original sin is an anime I cannot in good conscience recommend that every anime viewer, but for the people who I can, I highly recommend checking out the darkest but also most emotionally compelling anime of 2025. The series is only 6 episodes long, and even with such a short runtime, it still seems to be the anime that's hitting people deepest and hardest this season. Pause. All in all, though they deal with their own hardships and traumas, the only thing saving these children unironically is communication. This show takes some truly shocking turns, but a lot of the hurt could have been avoided just by each kid truly understanding what the other was going through. Empathy. That was the thing that these kids needed. Shizuka needed to talk to Marina needed to talk to Shizuka, and Azuma needed to talk to his older brother. It's not easy and it's not supposed to be, so if you're personally going through something, talk to somebody. Tak-o-pee's original sin wasn't just a gut punch, it was the kind of show that rips your heart out episode by episode systematically and makes you ask for more with a box of tissue nearby. A uniquely complex and traumatic story boasted by a unique art style that will stick with you way after you watch it. I'm giving Tak-o-pee's original sin 4.5 out of 5 teardrops. Without going too deep into spoilers, what did you think of Tak-o-pee's original sin? Let me know in the comments and make sure to like the video. And as always, check your recycle bin, delete your inbox. It's been your boy Spam Folder. Fight me in those comments. Peace!